What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what just came out associated to NIO, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up 1.52% during the pre-market, a lot of volume, so it is top 10 most heavily traded, so that's always a good thing to kind of see. But why it is getting all this volume is because of the weekly registration numbers. And during the overnight, I kind of took a screenshot because it just stood out to me. Everything was green except NIO. So NIO is down 2 cents, and I get it, nothing overly crazy, but the fact that it went down 8.18% yesterday, normally in general you have a bounce regardless. So this right now 1.52% most likely is just that correction, just based on yesterday to today, not even factoring in these weekly registration numbers, which were very good in my opinion. I know some people might say that it's still not on target, but week over week, very good improvements. So it came in as a group 79.30, 780 for Firefly, much greater than last week, which was only 200, and then 34.50 for NIO. That was a little bit of a slower increase from last week, but still increases increase. So came in at 32.50 last week. Big one though is Onvo, so came in at 3,700, and then 15.50 for last week. So very nice improvement. Again, I know some people might not be satisfied with these numbers, but I myself definitely am. Of course, they need to still wrap up, but I think, yeah, week over week improvements, you're starting to see a nice growing trend, which is what you generally want to see. So this is, in my opinion, a good reason to potentially buy into NIO, but I think NIO is just one of those weird stocks. You kind of want the market to crash because it's just been inverse lately. So if it crashes, then maybe NIO will hit all-time highs possibly. But nonetheless, though, I think just what is happening during the pre-market is just largely being suppressed, which I'm sure some of it has to do with shorts increasing 1.68 million shares already during the pre-market. So again, they kind of are the culprits for a lot of the crazy manipulation behind the scenes, but 11.92% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 183.97 million shares overall being shorted. So clearly they're going to be a big part for today. As what they typically do, they hit it hard first to try and kill the momentum, and then they kind of taper off. But with these weekly registration numbers and just the market seems to be wanting to really move higher, I think that is going to incentivize a lot of institutions to buy in, hopefully offsetting a lot of this, in my opinion. So we'll just have to wait and see. But nonetheless, looking at the options from yesterday, there is still a very strong consensus for it to be roughly between that 5 and 550. Bears for it to pretty much be below 450. So given where we are at, there is more upside than down. But right now with it at 467, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 461 followed by 447 is going to be the support levels. This S2, so that 447 has not been touched in a while. So that's always a good thing. But nonetheless, just for today at least, to watch that 461, flip side 484, and then 507 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. And similarly, this 507, like NIO kind of did flirt with it. It broke past it a couple times, but this 507 is going to be that key point to really watch for it to break out. Aside from that, there hasn't been all that much in new analyst ratings, aside from what I've brought up in previous videos. The last one was that 487 Macquarie. No new articles really coming out, no fireside chats or anything. So it is just the technicals and just people's interpretation of the weekly registration numbers that is moving NIO. But on the actual chart itself, you have 478, that ALMA. So as long as it does stay below that, then in theory, the chart will continue to consolidate. So that's something just to keep in mind. So another element to really watch for. So you have that 461 as a strong support, then 478 to ideally get above to continue its nice push higher. But I don't anticipate any of these moving averages to be touched most likely this week unless something crazy dramatic does happen. I know Trump so far has been fairly active despite it kind of already being in the pre-market. He's gone after Europe and India in regards to tariffs. So I think maybe China again might be brought up in passing or something like that, and that could spark a little bit of fear. But nonetheless, 200-day moving average at 429. Super trend, I've already kind of brought that up on why that is a very big deal for NIO. But given everything and all the recent volatility, looking at the stochastic RSI, you are seeing it as very oversold. So again, a good piece of news. You should see it really move higher in theory, because even the weekly registration numbers, that is good. So in my opinion, I think once the market does open, you'll see a rush of kind of calls being purchased, causing it to, in theory, people to benefit from it to move higher. But nonetheless, shorts seem to be in somewhat of a suppressive mood today. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on NIO. If there is some pretty big developments that does occur or some news that comes out, I'll do a PM video just to give you a quick summary of everything that you need to be aware of. But nonetheless, I myself am pretty satisfied with these numbers. Let me know your thoughts on this. Are you okay with them? Do you want them to be like double digits? Like, what's your kind of general thoughts on all that? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.